fuck out of here.
Alright, Sports Squad. Almost said the wrong title. Sports Squad number 2. This one I can keep track of. Talking about fantasy overall, probably mostly football, but fantasy overall, fantasy sports, how it affects our lives, things about it. We'll see where it goes. That's how most of these work. So I guess to start off is how involved we've gotten with fantasy, how big it's grown past few years, because I feel like even when I was younger, my brother played for a little while, and I didn't really quite get it, but he was only on 1, maybe 2 teams, and I feel like the past few years it's been like averaging 2 to 3 teams. Like, it's weird if you only have 1 team.
Yeah.
Because there's so many leagues, so many ways to play.
I know, I switched up this year. I'm only in 1 league too, and it's weird because, like, there's years where I've had 7 leagues, and I still don't know how I did that. Actually.
Yeah.
But
3 leagues makes you want to put 3 separate bullets in the chamber.
But like I said, so I've done 7 leagues 1 year, and like it consumed all my time. And then like now going back down to 1, I'm bored. Like I want to be in more leagues now. You know, I'm thinking about joining like the week-to-week fantasy leagues where I just draft every week. Half the fun in fantasy is drafting, honestly.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Every time I played fantasy, I think I did 4 total football and I did 1 baseball. And every time it's like draft, yeah. And
Yeah.
It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah, now I gotta like maintain this roster every single week.
Well, we are the absolute opposite. I'm like drafting, fuck that, it gives me diarrhea. Everybody I want gets taken. And then I draft OBJ and he just eats pee-pees all game. All season. Before it was CJ Anderson, and then it was Adrian Peterson as he beat his kid. And I was like, damn it. There goes my points and my number 1 picks.
And it's not like you can drop those players either because you draft them that early, so the undroppable
Yeah, exactly.
players.
So I'm just like, well, looks like I'm auto drafting from now on.
But it's so different now because there's everybody's doing it now, and like we were talking about with your brother doing it, I'm sure when he did it when you were younger and things like that, like it wasn't as serious. Like the advent of Red Zone wasn't nearly as big.
Oh no, Red
so
Zone's
you
only in like its 8th season.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's gotten a lot. You're able to track everybody now. You know, back then if you didn't have like a Sunday ticket or anything like that, if you didn't have any Red Zone or anything like that, you were just seeing the 2 local games. So you were just invested in whatever 2 games.
Maybe 2 local games.
Yeah, maybe.
Sometimes, maybe. Primetime game.
Yeah, exactly. And then a primetime game.
Sometimes the 4 o'clock game will come up, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't go 3 hours without football.
Yeah.
I can't wait till 8:30.
Yeah, exactly. This is barbaric, you know. But it's different now. Everybody has access to see. Basically, everybody has access to see all the players play at any given time and everything like that. So it's actually become a pretty big deal because you can have everything updated. You can check all your stats, smartphones, and everything. And social media's played a big part in it as well. So it's gotten a lot bigger just because I think the technology around football has gotten, around sports in general has gotten bigger too, since this is encompassing all sports, but mainly football. Yeah.
Oh my God! When I was a kid, it's just like you're struggling to get home. Your parents are like, "We're going grocery shopping on Sunday." I'm like, "Bitch, there's football."
Yeah.
Well, if you want your Pop-Tart, you better come. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come. But now it's like I can watch football on the go with a smartphone.
Yeah,
You really can. Like
I've done it all.
Like this week, I was stuck at work and I was trying to watch the Cowboys game and.
And you have the Sunday ticket, right?
Not at work, but yeah, I have it on my phone. I have it on my phone, and that's what I was doing. I was able to watch everything.
App, the NFL Sunday
got the
ticket.
Sunday ticket app, and I was glued to it. I'm like, don't expect me to do anything at work. It's simple as that. But like I said, you're able to keep up with everything now, and that's what. You have 24-hour news cycles and NFL Network going on the time. Whenever football starts, ESPN is talking about it 24/7 because be damn with all the other sports. Got football season going on right now, but and we got baseball season wrapping up. Getting to the playoffs here soon, but we don't care about that because football season's going strong still. So.
I don't even know what baseball is at this point.
So it's interesting. And it's wild to kind of take note of that and be observant in that. But at the same time, especially since we're talking mainly about in the NFL and things like that, it's very interesting to see. It's very difficult to keep up with things now because there's 3 different days where you're having games going on each week. And that used to not be the case. You have Sunday games, you'd have a Monday night game, but now you got Thursday night games.
It used to be, correct me if I'm wrong, either of you guys, but when I was in high school, it was the Thursday night games would start after Thanksgiving.
Yes,
and that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now there's a Thursday night game every week.
Right, exactly. And it was probably even it's very recent that they started
that's
doing.
That's only like its third or fourth season.
Yeah,
too,
and obviously it's not getting good reviews because they're putting up terrible games. Like this Thursday's game is the Rams and the 49ers.
Are they still doing, because last season the Thursday night games were those color rush games?
Yes,
are they still doing that?
Yes.
Oh man,
they're trying to promote Thursday. Well, because originally it was on NFL Network.
Yes.
I think the first year they did it was.
And it was only on NFL
Right,
Network. And there's a huge issue with it because not every kid.
This was before.
I was gonna say, who the hell has the NFL Network?
Yeah, I mean a lot of people.
I mean I did.
Now it's CBS.
Yeah, but you're real into sports.
And NBC split it halfway through the year, something like that.
And Twitter too. They've streamed last season.
Last season Twitter streamed it, but now this year it's moved over to Amazon.
Oh.
So if you have Amazon Prime, then you can stream the game through Amazon.
God.
But it's not. I mean, it's a Thursday night game. Nobody's gonna watch it
That's
anyway.
true,
So
yeah.
I think the first game that they're streaming this year is the Packers and the Bears.
Well, I mean,
Amazon Prime.
Well, maybe
Packers and the Bears, depending on what Glennon's doing at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna
like I said,
I forgot about the Bears situation.
how it's difficult to keep up when we're talking about fantasy. It's difficult to keep up with what fantasy is actually doing because the way the NFL's scheduled their games now is crazy. It's crazy to deal with because I mean it's not just got to get ready for my 1 o'clock game. We got to have my full lineup set by 1 o'clock on Sunday evening. Now you have to have your lineup set by Thursday night. Yeah. And then if you don't have a set, even if
people playing,
right, and even if you don't have people playing that night, then you're like, all right, fine, I don't have to worry about it or anything like that.
Yeah.
None of these, I don't have any players on any of these teams. But you still have to worry about when they go to London and you got a 9:30 kickoff. And you're like, oh shit, I forgot it's a 9:30 kickoff in the morning,
That actually killed me 2 years ago. It was, I had Alex Smith as my backup.
Okay.
And they played somebody pretty bad. They destroyed
probably at Jacksonville, because Jacksonville's like the honorary team you can send over to London every year.
So yeah, it was probably Jacksonville.
Honorary team to get destroyed off of U.S. soil.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just rinse, wash, repeat.
Yeah. But I think I had Aaron Rodgers as my other quarterback, so I was gonna go with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
But I think Aaron Rodgers was playing maybe the Seahawks or something.
It was like a strong defense.
A strong defense. I was like, do I go with Alex Smith?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I had the London game.
Yeah.
So I woke up at 11 o'clock. Alex Smith already has 25 points.
Right, exactly.
Ended the day with 40.
Yeah.
I was like, no. But I mean, Aaron Rodgers still dropped 25. So I was like,
but
what if I start Alex Smith?
Right. And like I said, it's tough to deal with that just because you're not expecting that. You're expecting football to start 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday because that's how it's always been most of our lives. And then no, by the way, we're just gonna go over here to London and start this game at 9:30 when we know most people aren't even up yet.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get up, get our pregame coverage going on, and that's all we're trying to do at this point. We're not expecting to watch a full game.
Which with the London regard, this is a little off topic of fantasy. I feel like they could start it at 1 o'clock because it's only 6 o'clock in London.
Yeah, and that'd be a primetime game then. But
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to watch a primetime game in London when they're sending the Browns and Jacksonville over there. Nobody even wants to watch that here at 1 o'clock. Definitely. I mean,
Wait, do the Browns play prime time? Do they?
I think.
They
does every team get a primetime game?
Yeah, but not when it's Sunday night or Monday night prime. Well, it's Monday night because Monday nights, Sunday nights become.
Everybody gets one Monday night, right?
I believe so.
I think every team is supposed to get
at least one
But
big.
then again, with the Thursday night and
Thursday night, Monday night games,
and
things
the
like
Saturday
that.
night games
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. They do Saturday night games.
That's throwing everything off. So
Yeah.
that's prime time. But
Yeah, the Browns will play on Thursday because nobody wants to really watch Thursday night.
Right.
Thursday night's
Everybody can
That's
go
the
without.
shit
They're like, fuck, it's Thursday night. I'm getting ready for Friday.
Right, exactly. I mean, and like I said, when it comes back to fantasy, it gets really tough to actually plan for that because it's middle of the week, and you still
Yeah.
people still working for the most part too. So like you're trying to figure out like, oh shit, I have to go back and check my lineup and make sure that's doing make sure that's all right. And it's tough to keep up with at times, especially if you have multiple leagues and
Yeah. I think it was 2 years ago I had 2. I haven't played the past 2 seasons, which is nice because I've had Red Zone the past 3. So it's nice to just watch Red Zone. But the last time I did, I had 2, and it was flip-flopping, and it was all week too. I was in class all week. It wasn't like, okay, Monday I can settle everything, right? But
yeah, and like I said, it's nice. I'm sure. I mean, if you haven't done the last 2 years, I imagine I've started to inch away from fantasy. I mean, after I had a 17 league season, I kind of like did a whole lot in a little bit of a time period, so I kind of washed me up there a little bit. But I mean, I forgot where I was going with that, but like. But like, I mean, it's got to be nice to sit there and actually like enjoy and watch the game. Like you're like, oh well, that's a pretty cool play.
Yeah.
Like you can just sit there and enjoy it instead of like cussing at the TV
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever Antonio Brown gets a first down, or having a rooting interest in the Arizona Cardinals because you drafted David Johnson first
Yeah,
overall.
right.
You know.
Or Adrian Peterson beat his kid, and you just really want Adrian Peterson to die.
In that situation, yes,
That's
right.
why it was partially. I think I only drafted as an Eagles fan. I should clarify that. I think I only drafted like one Eagles player, and then I tried not to draft in the division.
Oh
Because I
yeah.
didn't want to like. I was so loyal. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't want to
impossible
draft
for me
Des
to.
Bryant,
Yeah,
like-
exactly. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, Des Bryant. I really want the Eagles to win this game, but I can't have Des
Yeah.
Bryant. I also need Des Bryant to score 3 touchdowns and have
Yeah.
120 yards receiving. You
Dude,
know?
I'm the complete opposite. I'm just like, I draft all the other players around the division because I'm like, it's a win-win. If the Eagles win, fucking I'm happy. If my Eagles lose, screw it. My fantasy team will do good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've tried to stay loyal with that, so I've avoided drafting anybody from the Eagles.
Besides Carson Wentz, I don't know. Maybe Darren Sproles, but
Yeah, the Eagles.
Well, I mean, this year they got Alshon Jeffrey was probably before the season started.
Yeah.
I should clarify when you're drafting fantasy, Alshon Jeffrey might have been a gamble that you take, but past 2 games.
Well, I mean, but he's new to the offense,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
Nelson Aguilar, the first Eagles touchdown this season.
Nobody would have guessed that.
Oh yeah, nobody. I was watching it at work.
And people had the nerve.
That'll
to,
be
like,
his only touchdown all season.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably. And people had the nerve to like try and pick up Nelson Aguilar. I'm like,
I'm just like,
come on, dog. Come on, you guys.
Think it through.
Yeah.
old brick hands is what I call him.
Yeah. Stonehands Aguilar, you know.
Stone hands Aguilar.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, Wentz's throwing is 50
Follow
to
with
60.
masonry.
That was good.
Yeah, Wentz is throwing like 50 times a game, so just by that, hopefully.
Yeah, because I don't think they don't have a run game personally, but
Yeah, but
They don't have an offensive line.
no, they have. I mean, if you've seen the Giants' offensive line,
Oh,
they have an offensive line.
The Giants are still a team?
Yeah, barely. I mean, if you've seen the Seattle Seahawks offensive line, that's a real terrible offensive line.
Yeah.
You're gonna fall and bust your head open.
I couldn't get that lucky.
So,
You mean I don't have to go to work tomorrow? And they're gonna give me
I'm a left
anesthesia?
guard. I can save your life.
You're gonna give me
Probably,
mouth to mouth?
maybe, if you want.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, I don't have to use my face mask.
What face mask?
Oh, you know.
Well, like I said, I mean,
Yeah, back to fantasy.
when it comes to fantasy, I mean, it's the evolution of it has just become so crazy.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, to go from where it was, where you just like drafting when you didn't have like before. I'm pretty sure it started before smartphones were really a big thing too. Just like
Oh yeah, dude,
just, like,
fantasy.
grown men meeting at a bar and just having like
Yeah.
a giant draft board of players.
I
and
remember
things like that.
my assistant principal in my middle school said he did fantasy football, and I was just like, fantasy football?
Right, exactly. Like, and it was the access to it just wasn't
When I was in
really
middle
there.
school, I think the coolest phone was like whatever came before a Razor. Or it was the Razor.
It was the Razor.
The very end of my high school career, or my middle school career, the Razor was the coolest thing in the world.
That was my mom's first phone.
So he was just drafting on his Razor. Dude, I used to have Madden NFL 06 on my Razor, my old one. Dude, I was bomb at it. Throw touchdowns all game. Because it wasn't played like an actual bad
Right,
game.
you just hit the button.
Every team had the most amazing offensive line, and you just hang back until you see the green comb over your receiver and you throw it. And then I got good at onside kicks.
Sorry, my bay's on right now.
Who's that?
Becky Lynch.
How do you know that?
Who's Irish diva. We're watching SmackDown right now. It's on mute though, but still. Anyway.
But like I said, it's the evolution of it has become very large.
Yeah.
I mean, every sports site has their own like fantasy football league.
Oh,
I
actually,
mean,
it used to be literally just ESPN.
yeah.
And then Yahoo kind of made like.
I mean, ESPN has one, Yahoo,
But now it's
CBS, NFL
CBS,
Network.
NFL Network has its separate one. I think I've played on ESPN, Yahoo, and
NFL.
Yeah,
I've done the same.
Over my 4 years, I've done 3 of them.
Yeah, and I haven't I've never done CBS, but like I said, everybody has their own site for it. It's
and I guess we'll get into it. The DraftKings and FanDuel.
Right, exactly. I was thinking about getting into it. Well, I think they kind of merged. Aren't they like the same thing now?
I think that happened last year.
Yeah. Because it had fallen off. Like, you used to see commercials for it every single commercial break, but then it had some, like, legality issues or something like that.
And
I don't know the full extent of it, actually, but...
Because it was technically gambling.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But it's kind of like, well, fantasy, it's the same thing as fantasy.
Right,
it's
exactly.
A week at a time,
yeah.
And Vegas, like, sued them or something like
yeah,
that.
So they merged together, and they kind of, like, they kind of take a step back, but, I mean... people do still use that as well, and then I mean that's a genius idea too. If you're in it for the excitement of just kind of being there and just kind of drafting each and every single week, and you don't have to worry about not cussing out the computer, like cussing out their TV screen every week because like I said, David Johnson's out 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't have to worry about that. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess David
still make
Johnson's
money every week.
2 to 3 months this season.
Yeah, he broke a wrist in his bone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't care about the Cardinals. So.
Yeah.
So like I said, so I mean, so it's good when it comes to that to that kind of environment where you just like you're kind of worried about whatever your players getting injured, you had a bad draft or something like that. Yeah.
All the time, baby.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Bad drafts. Bad drafts.
I personally heard you cuss out the TV because
I throw that fucking TV.
Oh yeah,
cuss it out. It's gone.
Just because Jordan Matthews wasn't giving you enough points.
Jordan Matthews never gives me enough points. No, do I have Jordan Matthews? Maybe
Yeah,
I did
last
it one.
year.
Oh yeah, last year.
last
That
year you did.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Last year I also had C.J. Anderson, who didn't do good until I gave him up. Until I cut
He
him.
knew.
He's like, oh, finally, I'm off that fucker's team.
Yeah. I just saw a tweet from OBJ a couple days ago about how somebody called him out because they lost. Was it? No, it wasn't OBJ. Well, he also did it. It was Golden Tate. He only got like 6 points last night.
Okay.
And the guy needed 9, and he was like, "You're no longer my wide receiver 1." And he's like, "The Lions won. Be happy."
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, and that's what people kind of really lose sight of at the end of the day too, is the fact that like they're not here to please you guys just because you invested your time and like, oh yeah, I'm in a $100 buy-in league or something like that, and OBJ didn't give me enough points. I'm like, well, he's not really out here to make sure he's not calling you like, hey Josh, I'm gonna let you know right now beforehand, I'm not gonna play this week. So you want to bench me?
I wish he would do that. That asshole.
But like I said, I mean, it's just unreasonable for people to expect that. I mean, you're like, oh, I needed a 9 point. You only gave me 6. I mean, I'm gonna cut you. Like, well, it doesn't matter because he's actually playing for a real life NFL team. I'm sure he could care less if he gets cut from your fantasy football team.
Yeah. There was a game last year, 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. It was a Monday night game, and my roommate had who's the Dallas kicker?
Dan Bailey.
Yes, he had Dan Bailey, and I was playing against Dez, and this was Redskins Cowboys, so I was totally not invested in that
Right,
actual
yeah,
game.
of course.
Right? So I was playing against Dez. That was the only guy he had left, and I think it needed to be like 15, which isn't unreasonable.
Yeah.
Like a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit. And then my roommate had to have Bailey hit like, I think it was like 250-plus yard field goals, right, to like win.
Yeah.
And it both happened. Like they threw to Dez and he didn't get the touchdown, so he only had like 6 or 7
Right.
points. And then it was like the last play, so they ran out, and then it was like a 52-yard field goal to win it. Right, and so he didn't want it. But it was funny because his girlfriend's best friend, who was over like all the time, was a Redskins fan. So like all three of us, so they're so stressed out
Right.
for like different reasons.
Yeah.
Because we were in the same. It was my roommate's league that this was happening.
Yeah.
In, you know, and all of us were just like, ah, like we need all this to happen.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, dude. Once I lose like 3 consecutive weeks in a row, I just delete the app.
Like I said,
I'm never go. I don't cut players. I just cut my whole team. I'm like, I'm never coming back to this.
I mean, it's stressful. I mean, like I think, like it's tough to like sit here and enjoy all the football if your team's not winning in fantasy.
Hey
you
man,
know?
it's a
If
competitive.
your team's not winning in fantasy
Yeah.
and your team's not winning in, like your actual team that you cheer for in the NFL is not winning either, it's kind of tough. Like, you know.
And then it's a double whammy.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're just mad all week until Thursday starts and like.
Yeah, then it just recycles. Yeah. You're just,
That's I mean, that was
It's
me.
a new week.
That's been me this week.
Yeah. Sorry.
But, I mean, it's shit, like I
It's
said,
been the intent.
it's just an interesting kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Yeah.
It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
Oh yes. Tomorrow's West.
Tuesday will follow us Tuesday.
Yes, Sports Squad is recorded on Tuesday nights for any part of Squad Nation, as Ryan has coined. Let's see if that sticks.
Squad rolls deep.
Yeah. So did either of you guys do anything besides fantasy football? Like, did you guys do baseball or?
I did basketball
or
one
hockey?
time.
Basketball one time, yeah. Because I did baseball 3 years ago, and halfway through I just gave up.
It's so long.
Yeah, it's a long season, and it's
Dude,
every
I
day.
can't.
That's why the NFL just has it all just kind of like figured out. They're like, all right, we have 16 weeks. You usually like depending on how long how many teams are in that league. We go
Yeah.
like 13 weeks
I would normally go
regular
13,
season,
yeah.
and then we hit the playoffs. You know.
Yeah.
And
I'll make the championship. Sometimes I'll make it week 15.
Yeah.
Just because I know sometimes they rest starters week 16.
But I mean, and it's just tougher. Like we talk about the NFL having 3 days for like all when they show all their games and everything like that when they put out their games. But I mean, all the other sports they have them every day of the week.
Yeah.
And it's tough to keep up with. Like
Yeah,
I don't know,
especially
like,
baseball.
you know when the week starts, when the week ends,
Yeah.
when, in a certain season, and things
Playing
like that.
Not
I mean,
everybody
it's-
has the same day off.
like yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
So I did draft Max Scherzer though, and this was before. I think that was like.
What are we talking?
we're talking about baseball.
Dude, you guys are so much more invested in sports than I am. I can only do fantasy football because it's so small and it's just like
right, that's what we're talking
saying,
about.
yeah.
you know, like there's people I don't know about. I barely know the newest giraffe class, and I'm just like, well, screw it. It's after week 1 now. I know who's good and who's not good. But it's just like, dude, I watched the Orioles. I couldn't tell you. I watched the Orioles and the Phillies. I couldn't tell you anybody else in baseball other than Mike Trout.
Jersey boy.
Yeah. I don't know anybody else. Cal Ripken, he's still playing? Nah, just a joke. Nah, I don't know
The
anybody
Phillies
else.
had a grand slam off Clayton Kershaw last night.
Don't know who that is.
You don't know who Clayton Kershaw
How do you
is?
not know? First grand slam Kershaw's given up,
Really?
and it's the Aaron Althier.
Was he play for the Minnesota Twins? Dude, I don't know.
LA Dodgers.
Yeah,
Oh.
the Dodgers. He's
Yeah.
like the face of the Dodgers.
I can tell you anything you want.
Well, I mean,
about
that is a
Battlefield
separate issue too. I mean, if we want to talk about that, we can just like branch off to something else because that's the way it seems like this has been going.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean-
I was gonna say before we move on.
I'm a part of this
if you fix
conversation.
Anything about fantasy? If you guys.
That's the only
'cause
problem
I have
with
one
fantasy.
crazy idea, but I want
Let-
to.
Well, you can go.
Okay, fine.
Go. What are we talking about?
If
Go
you would
for
change
it.
anything to fantasy, like,
How?
I would include punters, and just kind of like wide receivers. Every 10 yards, it's a point, and then if you get it within 20, it's an extra point. Within 10 of the goal line, it's 2 points, and then within the 5-yard line, it's another 3 points.
Oh, I'm drafting Johnny Hecker then.
Yeah, but every
Shane
every like fantasy league's different. Like you can
Yeah.
edit the rules too, so that's like
But you
that's
can't
something
add
you
punters,
could
no.
add. Yeah, well,
I don't
yeah,
think you
obviously.
can.
No,
Well-
no, God no, you can't
Yeah.
add it now. But
I mean,
in
like,
reality-
some leagues are PPR, some leagues
yeah,
aren't. Some
PPR,
leagues,
some leagues like count.
But I kind of
Scoring
like
is
what they did with the introduction and like with actual defensive players, like individual defensive players.
Oh, they did do that?
Yes.
When
yeah.
did that happen? This year?
No, it's been around for
I
a
don't
little
know.
bit. Yeah.
And
I've never heard of that.
I've only had the overall defense.
Yeah.
I've never drafted into it.
So I mean, so you can like
Is that the JJ Watt rule?
I mean, like JJ Watt is usually one of the first players taken, but like
Yeah.
it's usually like JJ Watt and then like whomever plays for like the entire Seattle Seahawks
Oh, yeah,
defense.
basically.
So then like Luke Kuechly's thrown in there.
Babyface Luke Kuechly.
So I guess so you
Like
can actually
16.
draft like defensive players. I mean,
How does that work? Like, just,
That's
like
got to be a
select-
special league then.
So,
Yeah,
like-
I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm
like-
genuinely curious of how this.
so like in
To the Google.
in my league, like the one that I actually like am in and I pay attention to, like I only have it's only one defensive player that you need.
Yeah, you only choose one, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you can. They have different leagues we set up. We can choose just one defensive player, or you can choose like
I think
a
I've
full
heard of
like
that.
like a starting linebacker, D lineman, safety, cornerback, and things like that.
Hmm.
So I have Sean Lee in my league, obviously Cowboys fan, and he's pretty good too.
No, hasn't beat anybody up of the opposite gender.
Who's that?
Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
dude, nobody likes him.
So like,
I don't think literally anyone likes Greg Hardy.
There's a lot of people like that though.
but like I said, so I mean, like, so you
Anyway,
can
that's a whole different
so you can
issue.
draft your own players, and like you can draft different players for different leagues and things like that. And it's actually pretty decent too. I mean, I have in my one league, I have Jamal Adams, Tamba Ali. I didn't actually draft this league, so I don't know any of these players. Quentin
Oh,
Dunbar, I don't know who that is.
I've heard that name before.
He plays for the team in Washington.
The team in Washington. As my coworker would say, Washington. We get on them all the time.
From Dundalk, aren't they?
So,
So-
ex-roommate said that too. Every time he said Washington, it's like, no R.
But I mean, like, so you can actually draft straight up defensive players. It's actually pretty interesting. They log what they get per tackle, sack.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Is it
Pass
like
breakup.
tackle?
But then again, does it come back to haunt you when they don't do anything? They get
I
that
mean,
one.
if you that's the thing. Like in the one league that I have, like if you pick, like I pick a linebacker who I know is going to get a lot of tackles. So I mean, that's going to be your Michael Kendricks. That's going to be your Sean Lees, your Luke Kuechly's, Thomas Davis, Khalil Mack, players like that
The
the
linebackers.
the linebackers, exactly. The
Yeah.
people who are going to be there lining up and get a tackle every single play. I mean, like I said, there's no surefire reason that you think that, like somebody's going to get a certain amount of sacks per game. So that's why I usually don't like to draft defensive linemen. You don't know
Yeah.
how many. I mean, if you're
Excuse me.
Richard Sherman, you draft Richard Sherman. Say nobody throws the ball to him at all. They don't even run the ball to his side. You get 0 points because you drafted a corner that they're not going to throw the ball to his side. They're not going to throw the ball to his side of the field.
Like Nnamdi Asomugha before he.
Before the Eagles ruined him.
Yeah. Before the spotlight was on him, and then everybody realized how bad he was. That 1 or 2 years on the Raiders, literally no one threw to him.
Yeah.
Like, they showed graphics about how
It was like
shifted to the left.
him and Darrelle Revis.
Yeah, but they said they actually tested Darrelle Revis.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even test Asomugha because they knew he was just gonna pick it off.
But like I said, and he was like,
And then he
so like I said, so I mean, so like the advent, like the introduction, like the advent of drafting defensive players, I think is really good idea. Honestly, I mean,
I think it is too. Cause
it makes it a little bit more exciting. I mean, it gives the
entire
defensive
defense,
team,
yeah.
the entire defense is like, I mean,
to be stuck with one team's defense.
yeah,
And whereas like hypothetically,
I mean, there's pros and cons to that though, because it's like,
pros and cons of everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Much like a box of
Is it-
chocolate, Robbie. You never
for
know what you're
me,
gonna get.
for me, is the
all the
do the
stupidest gif on
pros
Reddit today.
weigh out the cons?
Involving bars, golf,
Of course.
It was so stupid. It was a gif of, it was under combined gifs, right? So they take two like famous
Mhm.
things and mash them together, and it was, I guess in the new, maybe it's the original It, but it was.
Hey, it's not
Man.
the size of the boat.
It was Pennywise like waving from the sewer or something.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know
Doing that
exactly
wave,
what you're
and
talking
then
about.
As far as the Gulp waving back from the boat.
No, it's the
I died at work when I saw it.
it's Have you seen the new It?
Yeah.
Is it the new
It's
one?
the scene where Pennywise, where the kid looks over, well, after he's getting his ass beat by the bullies, and he just sees Pennywise
Oh, with
waving
the
on,
little baby hand?
yeah, it's waving
Like,
it like
eating
a child's hand waving it. So he just waves it, and then it's Forrest Gump.
it?
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, you know what? I could probably find it on
You
my
can probably
like.
find it on. You probably go.
No, it's like right on my. It's always the first thing that pops up on my Instagram.
Yeah, that's a fantastic game. I was dying so much. Dude, the combined games, it might have been better every loop because it was better every loop. I just kept watching it. Just the same 3 seconds. Anyway.
But, I mean, so.
Yeah.
I forgot what we were talking
Anyway,
about.
we were talking about the defense, and I said it was easier. Like if you have an entire team, like say you have the Eagles defense, right?
Mhm.
And Michael Kendricks maybe gets a sack. He's a linebacker, right?
Yeah, you can get a sack, yeah.
So he gets a sack. I don't even know who's on the defensive line anymore.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox. So he gets a sack.
Chris Long.
Oh yeah, I
Long
forgot
Cox.
Chris Long. Yep. Yep. That is. Yep. Say they get 2 sacks, right? They get 1 each, right? And
Yeah.
then who's what's his name? The second year guy. Mills. Right?
Jalen Mills?
Yeah, Jalen Mills.
Mills, yeah.
Maybe he gets an interception, but the defense gives up, 35 points.
Right, exactly.
Then it's kind of like it evens out. But if you just have
The
Kendricks
defensive
and he
player.
gets 2 sacks, then,
Yeah.
then you're stuck with those 2 sacks.
Yeah, so
I
you
think-
get
yeah.
those players. Yeah, so like I said, I like it. Like I said,
Yeah,
and
it's
you
pretty
get
cool.
so and then on top of that, it just doesn't glamorize just the offensive players either. You know, like you already
Yeah.
know who all them are, who all
Yeah,
they are.
everybody knows the offensive. Yeah. Maybe that's
And
why
I
I
think-
forget who's on the Eagles defense because I'm so used to seeing
Right,
defense. I'm
exactly.
so used to seeing the offensive players, and
Yeah.
that's the Eagles defense.
Exactly, and like I
Slash
said,
special teams.
it makes sense. Like I said, and I think that's where the NFL does such a great job when it comes to their branding as well. Just because they have fantasy, they realize, oh snap, nobody actually really knows what these players look like because they're all wearing helmets.
Yeah.
Nobody can actually identify them. So you get them on fantasy, like, oh, this is Julio Jones, this is what he looks like. This is,
Yeah.
yeah,
Aw.
so they do a good job, like I said, as opposed to where you go to like Major League Baseball and things like that. It's a little bit more difficult. Since it is such just a regional sport. On top of that,
Yeah, because I feel like football. There's exceptions to the rule, obviously, but I feel football is the one sport where you can kind of cheer outside
right,
your region.
right,
Like
exactly.
I'm not that far outside my region. Right? Anyway, yeah. So I'm a Philly fan in Baltimore. Kelven, you're a Dallas fan in Baltimore. One of my friends actually moved up to New York. She's a Dallas fan, but she's from New Jersey. Yeah, but she stayed loyal. But I give her credit where it's due. Just saying. So with baseball tends to be like the city embraces.
Right,
Like
exactly.
It's Philly, it's Baltimore. It's Atlanta. Besides the gap between DC and Atlanta.
Yeah.
But so
It really.
yeah. There's no. So football, because you have the access to
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you're saying with Red
And
Zone,
the thing
you
is,
can pay attention to any team.
you have that access.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's so many games. Like you can get MLB extra innings or whatever the cable package is,
Oh, yeah,
the
so
direct
you
TV
watch any
packages.
game you want,
So you can
yeah.
watch all the games, but at the same that's again only if you're like a team from a different region. Like
Yeah.
if you live in Baltimore, but you like the Dodgers or something like that, you like the Cubs or something like that. You know, I mean, with the NFL, it's they like I said they do such a good job, and it's a lot easier for them to be successful when it comes to fantasy, just because. I mean, you only have 3 days of the week for their season, or like for their games, and like I said, baseball they can have.
I finally found it.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, I know. I've been scrolling
And-
nothing but ass on my Instagram.
And it's just a little bit different, just because it's a lot more exciting to be able to like, oh yeah, I know, like there's 32 teams, there's like 16 games in the season. Every week they're gonna play. You have a bye week. Everybody has a bye week at some point and things like that.
so you
but
know what's going on.
so it's a lot easier to kind of follow along with that. With like all the other sports, like basketball is not really successful just because that's 30 team league. I mean, some of the games start at 10:30 at night, so
Yeah.
people on the
West
East
Coast.
Coast, the East Coast people aren't staying up to watch that unless it's like the Warriors play.
How's that work? Like, do you got like weekly games? I don't even know how fantasy baseball or basketball
Exactly. That's
work.
why I don't really know either.
Because
I
there's
know
like
when the week starts.
you could
for
be like
season
what
and things like
2
that.
games a week, right?
Yeah.
Right around there.
With
Something like
basketball and hockey, yeah. Because
And
Yeah.
I imagine it's different. It's difficult, especially when it comes to baseball, because like obviously you're drafting pitchers. So I'm just like, I mean,
baseball is weird.
how many pitchers do you draft? Because I've never done
Yeah.
fantasy baseball. So like, how many do you draft? Because everybody has a rotation and things like that. So
That's my memory here, but I think we had 3 pitcher slots,
okay,
and then you had like 5 infielders and 5 outfielders.
okay,
And then I think there was like a flex where it was like either a DH, like you could throw a DH in there if you want, or
Right.
you can like do a
okay.
So it was, like I said, that was weird.
Yeah,
Say
like I
that
said,
does make sense
yeah.
because pitchers do get rotated.
Exactly.
out.
Yeah. Rotation, like, I don't
so
know
you
if-
need
I
to
don't-
choose it right. So
Yeah,
like,
I don't know if you incorporate like a reliever or like
I think there were. I think it
a
was
closer
like,
or something like that in
I
there
think
either.
there were like 5 or 6 slots for your. Might have been for your pitcher, and then you could choose. Okay, do I want a starter and a reliever? this
Right,
week? Do
okay.
I think I got.
And like I said, it's like,
It's
this
been
seems like
3 years.
like a whole lot of like
That's
steps.
another
It
thing too. I was like, okay.
seems like kind of confusing.
So-
I mean, if you're explained to it, if it's explained to you,
Yeah.
like if that's what you've always done, then I can see how this just.
Right.
I mean, some people are naturals too. So
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, none of us
Some
are.
people play fantasy baseball as religiously as football.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. None of us are particular experts when it comes to that because
Yeah.
I know I've never done fantasy baseball myself. I mean, basketball kind of makes sense, and again, it's still kind of tough to do that as well, just
Yeah.
because nobody you're not going to check out all the games. Obviously, there's so many games. I mean, on
Yeah,
top of that,
that's
you
true, too.
only a certain amount of teams you get like a consistent like primetime viewership. Like or consistently televised. Like, I mean, the Lakers for whatever reason have like 32 games that are going to be on like prime television, like ESPN, ABC, TNT.
Yeah.
I know the Warriors have 43. So I mean,
Sorry, I was thinking of Joel Embiid's tweet.
What was his tweet?
He said he's better than MJ, and people flipped out on him.
see his burner Twitter
No.
tweet calling out Kevin Durant.
Did he?
It's pretty funny. Joel Embiid is too freaking much.
God, he's great.
The best personality in the NBA. Don't even at me.
Absolutely. Because our viewership is so big, people are gonna at you for saying it.
Don't at me.
Don't at Kelven.
If you at me, you're gonna get a whole lot of Titus Andromeda gifts.
It's my favorite thing now. This is by far my most favorite thing in the world. To just send Titus tweets for no reason. Mainly at Casey.
You pay their Casey.
But just a regular too. Like I did about the Emmys last night. I think I did about something else too, totally unrelated. I think it was something about work. I tweeted.
But
The reaction gifts are perfect. Like, there's literally one for every situation.
The Peacock one's still my favorite.
That's great. Although I think I laughed the hardest at the eliminating one.
Oh.
I feel so bad for people who don't watch Jimmy Schmidt because they have no idea what I'm talking about. To quote Ryan, if you could hear Robbie's face right now. Ryan said that on episode 23, so I don't know how this is going to be released. We'll find out. But Ryan, on
is
episode
this?
23, we just recorded a couple
Goofy
days ago.
hat.
Is this a safety beverage or a
A
safety?
koozie?
It's a koozie. It's a 7-pack actually. You can fit 6 plus.
Why
So
was
you-
this not brought to our
What
beach
the
show?
fuck?
I
What?
forgot.
This is amazing.
I forgot I had it.
Whoops.
I should have brought it. That would be.
I had no idea what this was. I thought this was Goofy's hat the entire time.
Dude, I don't think this will fit around me.
Why would it?
Isn't that what it's supposed to do?
Dude, it's supposed to like so it's easier to carry.
Oh, I thought it was like a belt you
I
put
had
beers
thought it was a
in.
belt too, so I'm not gonna fault you.
I thought it was like a what do you call it? A bandolier for
Yeah.
beers. You're stupid. That's a good.
Probably already.
That's what I'm
made,
probably
not
gonna
lie.
do for Halloween. I'll be like a cowboy or
WWE Championship belt across you.
Yeah.
yeah,
I am thinking about being
a
John Cena.
national drinking. I'll just be a Marine or somebody in the
How
military.
would you can't be John Cena.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody will be able to see you.
Yeah, you'd be a waste of space.
You might as well just wear camo the entire night. Incredible.
I want to go out, find a guy in camo, because there's definitely someone in camo.
Oh, yeah.
And then get a picture of just the two of us.
Say who wore
Just
better,
the
Yeah,
two
who
of
wore
us.
and then like find some random third person that somehow found Harry Potter's invisibility cloak.
Dude, I love Harry Potter, especially when it comes on Freeform.
It is.
So
ABC
every weekend?
family. Yeah,
Yeah,
every
right.
weekend's Harry Potter weekend. Everybody tweets, I'm so good at Harry Potter.
Dude, it's one of
weekend."
those things where you can just put on TV and pass out. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'll
So
watch
like I
this.
mean like they do that every weekend. So it's like that and then like Disney movies,
Yeah.
like animated Disney movies. Then for whatever reason they're like, oh yeah, this was also a trilogy. So let's do the Hunger Games series.
And then Christmas
It
Day
was-
where they play the Christmas story. No, I'm fucking no.
No, that's TBS.
Yeah, that's
TBS
Oh.
does that all day.
TNT.
Well, somebody does it, and it's
That-
stupid.
They do.
No, it's not. It's amazing.
What?
How could you not enjoy 24 hours of the Christmas
24
story?
hours because I could kill myself after 1 hour.
I mean, it's American classic, Robbie. I'm confused as to where you're.
Shit.
What's up?
American classics to me are not the Christmas story. I don't know.
I'm not
Sit there and play the same thing. You'll shoot your eye out. Shoot your fucking eye out. Then you can go to Tim's school. Because he'll be blind. He'll be blind. Or wear an eye patch. I mean, I guess he'll still technically see because he got one eye. Unless he shoots the other eye out.
You talking about Fetty Wap?
Yo, Fetty Pop. Yo, did that guy die? Because he was big for a while. Now I don't hear him anymore.
Big for what? One song?
Yeah,
Two?
yeah.
He had a few.
I'm not one to talk about pop culture.
Nah, I'm not.
Especially
Either,
hip-hop culture,
yeah,
you know.
I don't know shit. I just want to know Green
I
Cone.
honestly don't know the one
You
song.
might in a bowl of mayonnaise.
Mm.
You leave that mayonnaise out long enough, it'll get yellow.
Yeah, we're still definitely talking about fantasy football.
Yeah, many. You guys.
Oh my god. So about fantasy football,
Yeah.
right?
Any last thoughts? We're at 43 minutes. We can end at 45.
Yeah.
Between 45 and an hour is what I
Yeah.
shoot for. And then sometimes podcasts.
Your
go
Forte,
Yeah.
Matt Forte. Is he dead too?
If he plays for the Jets, so yeah.
Dude, he's definitely dead. R.I.P. R.I.P. to my fantasy points. That man was a fantasy legend for about 1 season.
No, he was good. He was good for a few seasons.
Well, he was only on my team for 1 season.
Oh,
so-
Yeah, for about-
I'm only counting
I
that
was gonna say, he
season.
was a pretty solid-
Every other season was
Matt.
null and void. Well, he was really good on the Bears. Dude, I drafted Jordan Howard, thinking Jordan Howard's gonna be the sole backbone of the Bears, even though the Bears are all.
Tariq Cohen is, right? The rookie out of North Carolina.
The Cohen, yeah,
Yeah,
Tariq
North
or whatever,
Carolina A&T.
Tariq, yeah,
HBCU kid.
yeah. That dude
Yep.
is like
Those
mini
words.
Darren Sproles.
Mini Darren Sproles.
Mini.
Sproles.
Darren Sproul.
Mini
Darren Sproul. A little.
Darren Sproul's already mini.
Yeah, exactly. This kid's
5'6".
minier. The dude's just so quick, and I'm like, Jordan Howard gets to be no points. I'm like, damn.
My friend
Every
actually,
time.
he went to Eagles training camp. He also went to Giants training camp, but nobody cares about that.
Right.
He went to Eagles, and he texted me, Will, you guys know Will.
Yes.
He went and he was telling me, he was like, Darren Sproles is actually like really like husky for his size. He's actually like pretty like built, and I was like,
Imagine every NFL player is except for Mike Lennon. He looks like a pterodactyl.
What are the Bears doing, man?
Like a virgin pterodactyl.
a virgin pterodactyl.
With a 14-foot wingspan.
I think we should end on that note.
Yeah, virgin pterodactyl. That's a good ending spot. Hashtag virgin pterodactyl.
Trend it. You can at me if you're gonna trend that.
Yes. Oh,
If you like what you heard, like and subscribe.
Yeah. That was Fantasy Sports Squad number 2.
We talked about mayonnaise for a little bit, but it was mainly sports.
It was of the 45 minutes, about 40 of it.
Squad Nation
About
has
30
become
of it was
quite
about
familiar
fantasy.
with our tangents.
Yes. If you don't know we're doing tangents, then why are you still listening? Actually, keep listening. Virgin pterodactyl.
Leave a thumbs up.
If I could have a tightest gift right now, I would.
Smash the motherfucking like button.
Yeah. Don't forget to
And subscribe button.
Yeah. I don't even know if you have any subscribers.
Treat that subscribe button like it owes you money. Beat it. Beat it till the money comes back to you.
You got my money?
Come on, money, man.
Come on, money. Alright, squad out.
You hear about the sex scene that was cut from it?